was a quiet Tuesday morning in the town of Warri. The harmattan breeze whistled gently, shaking the dry mango leaves from the tree beside the house. Gina, a bright-eyed young woman of 23, was sweeping the front compound of her family home. Her brown skin glowed in the golden morning sun, her freshly braided hair pulled into a bun, and her face, though beautiful, wore a shadow of uncertainty. She had just completed her university education, first class in economics. But job offers were scarce, and the silence from the companies she had applied to was deafening. So, here she was, at home, broom in hand, dreams in limbo. As she gathered the dust into a pile, a black SUV slowed down in front of the house. It wasn't unusual for cars to pass through the street, but this one stopped. An elderly man in a crisp white kaftan stepped out. His beard was neatly trimmed, and he walked with a slow, deliberate gait. "Good morning, my daughter," he greeted warmly. Gina stood up straight, brushing dust from her clothes. "Good morning, sir. My name is Chief Louis. I'm looking for your father. He's inside, sir. Let me call him." "No need," he said gently. "Actually, I came because of you." Her brows furrowed. "Me?" "Yes. I have a son, Smith. He's back from abroad, works in Port Harcourt. A fine young man, but stubborn. Refuses to marry any woman I bring his way. I saw you yesterday when I passed by this street, and something in me said this is the one." Gina stared at him, unsure if she heard right. "Sir, you want me to marry your son?" Chief Louis nodded solemnly. "Yes. I know it sounds strange, but I believe God led me to you. Will you consider it?" Her heart pounded. Marriage. To a man she'd never met. She wanted a career, a life of her own first. She didn't want to be just somebody's wife, not yet. But something in the chief's voice was different. It wasn't pressure. It was hope. I'll think about it," she replied, barely believing herself. Days passed. Then weeks. Chief Louis kept visiting, speaking with her parents, bringing foodstuffs, and sometimes just sitting to chat with her like a father would. There was no arrogance in him, just an unusual kindness. Eventually, with her parents' blessing and a heart still full of doubt, Gina agreed. Then she met Smith. Tall, handsome, sharp eyes, but cold. He didn't hide his disapproval. "I'm only doing this to make my father happy," he told her during their first meeting. "Don't expect anything romantic." Gina smiled sadly. "I didn't expect anything." They were married in a quiet traditional ceremony a few weeks later. No extravagant wedding. Just family, a few friends, and whispered judgments from others. The first months were hard. Smith traveled a lot. When he was home, he buried himself in work or stayed out late. Gina busied herself with small tailoring projects and helping his mother, who had grown to adore her. One rainy evening, a power outage plunged the house into darkness. Smith was home, frustrated with his laptop that wouldn't charge. "You always have candles ready," he muttered, noticing the lit ones she had arranged. "You live in Nigeria, you learn," she replied, with a chuckle. That night, he watched her differently. She wasn't just some forced bride. She was graceful, intelligent, patient. She never nagged. She never demanded. She simply was. Gradually, things began to shift. He started coming home earlier. They shared meals. They talked. He laughed at her jokes. She told him about her dreams. One day, he came back with a surprise, a business proposal. "I want to help you open that fashion and design studio you talked about," he said. She was stunned. "You remembered?" "Of course. I listen now." Love crept in like a soft wind through a cracked window, slow, gentle, undeniable. They traveled together, danced in the living room, took long walks on the street where they first met. And one night, under the moonlight, Smith knelt in their backyard and gave her a ring, not for tradition, but for love. "I didn't choose you at first," he whispered, tears in his eyes. "But now, I choose you 1,000 times over." Gina wept. Not because she was sad, but because life, in all its twists, had led her into a love she never expected. They lived happily ever after, not because life was perfect, but because they chose each other every day. And it all began with a broom and a morning sun.